All right, man. We are live. All right, man. Just chilling like a villain. Just fighting through this day. It's been nothing but change, I tell you. Got the drug test, got the TB test, and I gotta go back up there 2 days to see the results and all that stuff. You know, that was like, man, I actually went through with it. I actually went with the change, because it was like physically impossible. Here lately, my dreams have been very vivid, and you know, that was one of my addictions also. Was I used to be very addicted to my sleep, and I would be so addicted to my dreams. Like literally, there'd be days where I would sleep all day, not eat nothing, you know. All I wanted to do was just continue cycling my dreams. And also this went hand in hand with the pornography addiction I had too. Like when I was on a big kick with that, it would just be me being bedridden, you know, just being addicted to my dreams and the addiction to pornography. Horrible, horrible cycle. Wouldn't wish it on anybody, because man, that stuff is really, that's a killer, especially when melatonin's involved too. You get melatonin, you got vivid dreams, and pornography. If you got addiction to that stuff, geez Louise, pepper cheese. Hope you find the cure for that. But you know, so anytime, and it seems to happen when there's so much change. It's like my brain knows that my dreams used to comfort me to the point where I would just want to just stay inside and just sleep. But now that I'm very alert with everything, and I'm very alert with my addictions and stuff, like, no, I force myself to get up. Like right now, I'm just forcing myself right now to do the gym a second time today. Because basically, you know, I was feeling kind of restless in my apartment. You know, I was working on shirts, working on my logo, and just doing that hours on end. And see, that's what I mean when I start to feel, when I'm in a confined space for so long, I start to feel cooped up. And that's when my caseworker, she told me, you need to get out when you start feeling that way. And so I did. And another thing, tattoo that I got, the ink's not holding. I'm not lying. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of fucking with my confidence a little bit. Because with the ink not holding and it not blending in, like, the dang thing don't look readable. Because some parts of it kind of healed. But the thing is it's not fully blast of color because the ink didn't hold. And I guess that's kind of been fucking with me too, because, you know, I just want my story to be told, you know. And last thing I want is a motherfucker saying, man, what the fuck does that say on your arm? And it's just like, but I know that's all in my head. But that's what I don't want. I don't want people to be saying, what the fuck does that say? Like, I want the motherfucker to be red. I want it to be red, you know. I want it to be the same color as my 300 on my hand. But I think when I see her again, I'm going to tell her, let's just make it kind of like a bloody background. But put the lettering in black, because, I don't know, it's just really fucking me up a little bit that it ain't readable. I mean, the healing process of this one's been kind of a B word. Because I guess I use that part of my arm a lot. And the tightening of the skin, it's just, man, you feel it. You feel it for sure. So yeah, I got that, you know. But, you know, I'm taking it like a champ. because, I put full trust in my tattoo artist, She's been nothing but accommodating to me. She said, when it heals up, we'll fill it back in and we'll recolor it and everything. So she's working with me. See, the thing is, I've never had this happen. My tattoos, that's one of the things, man. Like, that's my story. I want my story to be told, I didn't go through hell and back to not having my story told, I want my story to be told. And man, these dudes, I swear they're disrespectful to people that live in their car, because where I'm parked at, people sleep in their cars. And it's this work vehicle, and he keeps flashing his lights on the cars. Like, he knows people are sleeping. I know the motherfucker knows that they're sleeping. He's driving around now, but man, he had the lights beaming on me earlier, and I'm like, what the That's probably why that one dude moved his bus over. I don't even see that guy here. Where's he at? Yeah, I don't even see his bus. He probably stopped parking here. There's this one dude, I think he found a new parking spot too, because I know I saw him parked at one of the other places in this parking lot. But he ain't out and open no more, and it's probably because these dudes they just leave their truck on like he literally left his light on right in front of the cars. And it's like, damn well people are trying to sleep here, But yeah, the tattoo thing, it's kind of been, and I'm trying not to complain too much to the tattoo artist. I done said my piece about it. Told her that it's healing very light, and it's kind of wigging me out a bit in my mind. And I think what it is just it's just something that was supposed to happen in my life with the relationship between me and my tattoo artist. It's more like a trust thing. The universe puts you in these kind of obstacles for a reason. But it's just, man, the tattoo I got, it's really, really deep. It's a deep, deep, deep tattoo, And I really want this to be readable, I want people to know Redstone. Because that's a day that I will never fucking forget. I will never fucking forget. I didn't go to that dark. I was dark as fuck. I was down. I was like a cement block, Felt like fucking cement in the fucking car, man. I'll never forget Redstone. I wanted Redstone on me, man. But I need it to be readable, because that's a big part of my life, Because I could have offed myself. I would have offed myself. If it wasn't for my ex, I would have offed myself that day. I know damn well I would have. Because I was waiting for a damn semi-truck to come. And I was parked at Redstone Church. And I was waiting. Thing is, no semi-truck ever came. My ex talked me out of it. She had to pull me out of the car. I felt like 1,000 pounds. Like, I couldn't even move. I couldn't budge. I was out of it. Redstone means a lot to me. Because the day after, that's when I voluntarily got help. So that's why this tattoo means a lot to me. And for it to not be legible, or readable, it's kind of to me a bit, But, my caseworker, she's taught me how to deal with my mind when it gets like this. So, I'm not sweating. I know it's a whole trust thing. The universe put me in this part right here it's for a reason, it's trust, I trust my tattoo artist completely. I do. And I don't want her to ever think that I don't. That's why I feel like I want to get it out towards her and just kind of tell her, listen, is it okay if we do it black ink, but have the red in the background? And just kind of go into details about how important. Well, she already knows though, because I told her kind of the story in a brief summary. But it's just that Redstone is that's a deep part of my story, and to have it, not readable, it kind of bugs me a bit, But I already know that it wasn't her fault. She done told me that we'll work on it, we'll color it in and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. We'll get it recolored, blah, 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 and all that. And so, I'm cool with it. It's just my mind, it has like these comprehension issues, and that's one thing that I get, it's at work, and that's why I'm outside the gym. Because, see, that's what I mean. That's what happens. If I start to feel cooped up in my apartment, I start to overthink things. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was in the mirror looking at this damn tattoo. And I'm just trying to figure out what it would look like from another person's perspective. I was literally in the mirror, like looking at it. And it just got me bugging, But all in all, I know everything is going to go well. Because, that's the thing. But what is this guy doing? Get out of here. What are you doing? See, man, people like that, I just don't understand. But, I don't understand a lot of people, though. But, I'm just going to mind my own. But what is this guy doing, though? It's kind of got me bugging. Like, anyway. His car is literally parked in a non-parking zone, and it's kind of just... But anyway, they're probably just getting something out of the car or whatever. I'm telling you, though. Heck, they probably were wigging up from me because I parked right here. But I always park here. Who the heck is you, car? Who is you? Who are you? I've never seen that car here. Every time I park here, I always see the same cars. Just like when I park here, I always see the same bus. And that's what I mean. That's why it's surprising. The bus guy, he ain't here. He must park somewhere else today. But, yeah, Redstone is a big, deep part of my life. And then my next tattoo that I want to get, that's going to be another big portion. It's kind of bugging me right now. Why won't this person move their car? I know they're not paying attention to me. See, that's what I mean. My mind goes sideways sometimes. But it's kind of in my peripheral, because their headlights are on and everything. And this ain't the work truck either. This is a car I thought was sleeping in their vehicle, but I guess they aren't. I don't like seeing stuff in my peripheral. I'm just going to close my eyes and continue to talk. But anyway, it's just like... I don't know. I know the universe put me in this predicament. And it's all a part of my path, It's all a part of my path. Something so deep and true to me. Big part of my story. The tattoo is a mess healing. Okay, there he goes. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Okay, they're gone. Maybe they're going to work. Because I have noticed that. A lot of people who sleep here, a lot of these people work them late night shifts, or they got early morning work that they go to. So that's one thing I found out. That's just stuff you find out being a night owl. Being a night owl, you find out about all these places where people sleep. Because you can't sleep outside Walmart no more. Walmart was the dream, man, because I used to be homeless outside of Walmart, man. That was the dream right there, man. That was like one big refrigerator right there. It was great. Can't have that luxury no more. Now it's kind of tough. Walmart not being 24 hours, heck, it must be really tough being homeless. Because I tell you, a lot of people use Walmart parking lots being homeless. I'm telling you that right now. A lot of people. Walmart is a luxury to people living out of their vehicles. I tell you that right now. And it's not even 24 hours yet, luckily the gym's 24 hours, but the gym can only do so much. The gym can't be your refrigerator, That was the beauty of living outside of Walmart. Walmart, you could get anything, man. You can go in at any time. You bored, want to walk around? Except just go into Walmart. The people on graveyard shift, they're the best. And all those graveyard workers love me. Because I guess I'm just a pleasure to be around, you know. Especially for graveyard workers. I love conversating with graveyard workers because they don't get to see a lot of people. And most of the time when they do see people, half the people have these social problems. But no, not I. Not I at all. I'll sit back, crack jokes with you, talk to you. You know, I'm always in good company because I'm in good company with myself. You know, sometimes my mind plays some little tricks on me sometimes, but see, my caseworker, she taught me how to, manhandle it, basically. Manhandle it, put it in its place. But all in all, with the tattoo, though, I know everything's going to go great. It's just all a big, the universe puts you in these obstacles like this, And, once we get all this taken care of, I can't wait to get that next tattoo, though. That next tattoo is going to be great. That's going to be another deep. See, what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get all my deep tattoos done. And then I'll go to the other side stories. See, I want to have my whole left side all tatted up. Telling my story. And see, that's the beauty, man. That's the beauty of it, man. When I finish it all, I'll have my story for days. If I ever get older, I get Alzheimer's or something, my story's still there to be told. I might not be able to tell you, but it's on my body. The story is there. Every little bit of my tattoos has every bit of meaning to my story and everything that I've fucking been through, man. That's why it's so important, It's so important to me. That's why I treat my tattoo artists with the utmost respect, because they're putting something permanent on you for the rest of your life, And then one of my friends, he posted something, about the mental health of tattoo artists. And you see, I can't picture people being mean to tattoo artists, and piercers. But one of my friends, they broke it down to me and they said, James, there are some people out there who are very mean to the tattoo artists and very mean to the piercers. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, where did they get this entitlement? It's like, do you understand that you're literally being mean to someone who's putting something permanent on you? Like, they could totally F up your whole fucking life. Like, if you step on the wrong foot on the wrong day, they could fuck you up. Because at the end of the day, they got loyal customers. Deal with a bad person, geez Louise. But, a lot of the artists, they have good hearts, I embrace them, And that's kind of why I just stick with one tattoo artist, because I just like the development of a relationship. Like, me and my first tattoo artist, man, me and him were close as heck, man. Like, that dude was cool as heck. Tattoo sessions were great as heck. Heck, we would talk for about a good 2 hours before we even start the tattoo. He'd give me like so much advice, and I'd hear what he was all about. He would hear what was going on with me, and it was just a really great relationship. And with the one that I got now, we're getting a really great relationship going, and and it's great. It's really great, putting amount of trust into just one person to just tell your story. I mean, I look at them like they're authors, man. Like they're authors. Like, they're helping people either tell their story or boost their confidence. Like, they play a crucial role. Same with piercers, man. Piercers and tattooers, man. They are playing a crucial role to help people with their confidence for people that have, problems, in a way. Because that is one thing that I learned through getting help. Now, I can't say that it's for all, but majority of people who have tons and tons and tons of tattoos and tons of piercings, you know, they've been to hell and back. They've been through hell and back. See, like, for example, like a lot of them, they really could never be themselves. And they got attracted to tattoos and piercings because it was something that made them feel whole. You know what I mean? It made them feel whole. It completed them. Because before the tattoos and the piercings and all that whatnot, they weren't accepted. They weren't accepted by who they were. So therefore, they created who they really were, you know, in their head. It's kind of like how I was when I was a kid. My avatar, you know, when I was living on the virtual reality games, when all my relationships were online. I'm talking about I ain't never had no real girlfriend growing up. Never, ever. All my girlfriends were online. They were all on the virtual reality game. I was addicted. But my avatar, he had the biggest septum, covered in tattoos. You know, he was wearing the colorful shirts, the rainbow clothes and tie-dye and all that stuff. Just looking just very vibrant, you know. And, you know, I was being who I was meant to be in the game. Because in reality, I couldn't be that, you know. I couldn't be that. I could not be that. So he was on hold. He was on save. You know, I like to say that my real identity was stored in the computer, man. It was stored in the computer. You know? But that's what I mean. But everyone is different. But face it, they would agree. Before the piercings and before the tattoos, they were never ever accepted. They were never ever accepted. And so now I am completing my identity. And I'm in the process, you know. My septums, it's pretty big. It's a 4. And it ain't big like my avatar was, because my avatar, he had a septum that was just beyond realistic. Put it at that. It was beyond realistic. Because his septum was that freaking huge. And I remember when I would go into a chat room, people would be like, why is your septum so freaking huge? I mean, it was really big. You could just picture it. Like, try to picture it. You probably can't, because it's like, I can't image what he's talking about. Like, it was a very unrealistic size, basically. Very unrealistic. Like, it was about the size of a gosh dang face almost. Like, it was huge. And see, on the game, I was a creator. So I created my own huge septum for my nose. And I mean, it was big as heck. Like, it looked like a big door knocker, you know? Like, it was huge. And I loved it. Because I was the only motherfucker rocking it, you know? I've told my story before about what got me into septums. And, you know, and it was when I was a little kid. You know, we were living in Decatur, Illinois, man. This is when we lived at McDonald's. I was watching MTV like I usually did. Prodigy Firestarter came on. At the time, I didn't know who it was. But all I know is that man looked cool as heck. He had a septum ring in. He had his horns. Like, he had hair, but it was gelled up in the horns. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. That's when the septum craze came in. Because I saw it. And I thought it was so cool. I go to the junk drawer. I try to get a key ring, you know. And I was trying to fit it in my nose. And then I went to mom's bathroom, got the hairspray, and, you know, gelled up my hair to make it look like spikes. And then I came back to go watch the video, and it was done gone, you know. And I never saw the video ever again. I didn't see the video again until middle school. Because one day, like, I was in the middle of playing games, and it just dawned on me. The black and white music video, the guy with the septum ring. And I was trying my dang hardest to find that. And come to find out. So, see, at the time, I was playing a game called RuneScape. And this one guy actually... one of the big gamers on RuneScape, he had a PvP video. Well, they called it PK, player killing video. Because, it was always PKing. I never heard the word PvP till later down the road in gaming. But in RuneScape, the lingo was always PKing, player killing. And he had a video, and he was actually playing the Prodigy Spitfire. And through that song, because I loved watching those player killing videos because it was just so cool. I thought it was cool because I wanted to be as good as those people. But the thing is I was too chicken to go out and risk any hard-earned gold items and stuff that that I've worked my butt off to get. But yeah, he played, I wish I can remember. I think it might have been this guy named Kids Rank. It was probably Kids Rank or Mahatma, but I don't think Mahatma used a Prodigy one. But it definitely could have been Kids Rank. Kids Rank was one of the guys who was really, really good at RuneScape. And he had a lot of views on his player killing videos because of how good he was. But he used Spitfire. I don't know if it was him or was it Muhammad. I don't know. But those are the main two ones that I really liked watching. And yeah. And that's when I found out, who sang that song that I remember when I was a little kid. I just got so many stories through all the hell, through all the hard time, through all that, man. I just got stories for days, man. That's why, because, I still got problems to this fucking day that I battle out with, Dealing with addictions is a hard motherfucker, but dealing with a normalized addiction is a bitch, man. It is a real B word. It is. Because you just always have access to it. But that goes for any addiction, though. If you partake in any kind of addiction, it's always going to be available to you, normalized or not. Because you done opened that door, Sure, you can change up the environment that you're in and whatnot, but guess what? It's still going to be lingering. You're still going to know where to go. That's the hard part about addictions. You still know where to go. Addictions are hard. They're hard to deal with, period. Basically, it all goes down on you as the individual and the strength that you have to quit, But the thing is addictions, they just add up. They add up and they continuously add up, A lot of things that are habit forming ain't even considered habit forming, which is the normalized society we live in, such as binge watching Netflix. That's not an addiction, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because how much time do you spend binge watching your Netflix? In my opinion, just do what I do. If I want to watch a movie or TV show, take my butt right up to the gym and I watch that movie while I'm on the treadmill. Next thing you know, 2 hours done gone by. You walked for 2 dang hours. Good for you. I'm not going to lie though, man. This is another thing I wanted to talk about. Last night. But I just couldn't find the motivation to do a damn podcast. But because I was just tired. I forced myself to go to the gym. See, that's what I do. I force myself all the time. Like right now, To be honest, man, I just wanted to be honest, I was dozing off on the floor. I was just laying on the floor, just editing stuff, and just dozing off, kind of ish. I was like, no sleep, no sleep. We go. Got my butt up. I was going to try to get my grandma on the podcast because I was listening to the very first one of The Return, the very introduction where I was, saying that my grandma won't be in the podcast no more because really she didn't really care for it. She was only doing it to support me. And she liked doing what I wanted to do because it made me happy. And that's all my grandma really ever wanted, was just me to be happy. But, the podcast is going to be my outlet for a lot, talking wise. Because a lot of motherfuckers, they can't keep up with me conversation wise. And, that came up yesterday. One of the co-workers who are they're very equivalent to me. They are older than me, but they have communication skills that are on point like me. And I saw them in the hallway on my way out, and I was just like, yo, can I talk to you real quick? And they're like, sure. I'm just like, in life, people like us, we communicate like a lot. We communicate a lot. We like to talk. We're conversationalists. We love talking. But the thing is, in the world that we live in, I can't help but feel alone sometimes. Like, I feel absent, I feel like no one can keep up communication-wise, And she was telling me about, well, you just got to find your people, And she was going down the list telling me about her people. She goes to church. That's when she met a lot of, her go-to people. And she can just talk freely. And come to find out, a lot of stuff from her past, was kind of equal up to my past, And which really made... She acknowledges that was something that made her very social when she came to accept herself. And that's kind of like with me, like it took my caseworker helping me find comfort within myself to basically just be my full-blown, vibrant self, And she was like, you just got to find your people, And when you find your people, from there, you'll just find more progress from there. But yeah, she was telling me like... Yeah, me and a group of friends from church, we go out, every week or something like that, and blah, 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 and, we're very interactive and all that stuff, blah, 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 but see, so it just really gave me a lot of, comfort, God gave me a lot of comfort, just knowing that someone else can relate to me. Especially someone that is older than me, because that means that there's more people that have already experienced what I feel. It's just, sometimes I feel like, I love my friends at the gym and stuff, for example, but can a lot of them keep up with me conversation-wise? No. A lot of them like to listen, and they add their 2 cents when it's necessary, but at the end of the day, like, even I control myself because I respect their well-being. But the thing is I could go on and on and on and on if I want. Like, honestly, I could just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Let's go subject matter to subject matter and just continue to change subject matters. Like, I want to continue to learn. I want to continue to progress with conversation. Because, that's one thing that I've been practicing on is my listening skills. Because I have acknowledged that, in the past, I've only listened to respond. And that's a really bad habit. We just try so hard to fit in that we listen to respond, to impress. Quit impressing. You're not impressing no one. Listen to understand. That's what you got to do. That's where the money is. So, I've been practicing on that. And, like, for example, one of my friends at the gym, she talks equivalent like me. And, I basically utilize her communication skills to help with my listening skills, And I'm thankful, I'm thankful when I find people who are just like me, That's why I'm so thankful for that coworker worked where I work, because she really enlightened me on a lot, She really enlightened me on a lot, and it really added comfort to everything because, I can't help it, I just like talking. It's like once I found the beauty in life and, I see life for the beauty for what it is. And I feel like not a lot of people see that. And see, that's one of the problems with society is a lot of people have to see the beauty through substance. From some form of substance, that's when they can see the beauty in life. And that's sad. That's really sad, Because you're literally, say you go downtown, These people have to constantly be on a substance to have fun and say you don't have to. But you're literally having fun while people around you are continuously suffering. They're continuously putting themselves on a decline to have fun. And they forever have to depend on that substance to have a good time. How do you think that's going to be years down the road? You're going to need more of it. You're going to need more of it to have fun because you done got used to it for so long. And you need more of it. You need more of it. You need more of it. And then soon you just start to identify that this is bad, but you're done addicted to it. But you want to have a good time. And, oh man, it's just a never-ending spiral of darkness when it comes to an addiction like that. And it hurts me to fucking see it, man, Because you're literally watching, especially it's young people, man. Young people don't know what they're getting into. That's how it all works, man. Advertising and enabling and, peer pressure. That's why a lot of bullshit is normalized. Because people think it's all normal. They don't know how to have fun without the substance and all that stuff. Because it wasn't normalized for them. You know why? Because they probably saw their parentals doing it, to have a good time, You're only creating a worse version of yourself, man. And see, that's what parentals don't understand, That's why it is so important to be the best example around your kids. Because you can buy your kids anything you want. You can tell your kids anything you want. For example, you've been telling your kid to do his homework and blah, blah, blah. Go outside and go work out, exercise, blah, blah, blah. But what are you doing? What are you doing? You peer pressure your kid to go and make good grades and all this other stuff. And then when they finish high school or something, say the parental say you didn't go to college, but yet you're peer pressuring your kid to go to college. They're going to see what's the point? You didn't even do it, See, that's what I mean. That's what people don't understand. You lead by example. Your kid is not going to take in anything you say. It's your example that makes the punch. Talking is just words. Telling your kid what to do is just words. But the example that you lead by, that's what sticks. That's why, for example, that's why people they're more attracted to people who are kind of equivalent to their parentals. If you have certain traits or something like one of their parentals, you're going to be automatically attracted to it. And that's something that you have to nip. That's something that you have to nip. Because that's how the never-ending cycle of dysfunction continues. See, with my caseworker, she's helped me identify a lot of that stuff. Helped me identify from what I attracted and how attraction is supposed to really work, and basically how to separate what's good and what's bad. That stuff was taught to me. But a lot of people don't have that kind of knowledge on what's separate. They only go by what they're attracted to, but they don't understand what they could be attracted to could be just a repeating cycle of a worse dysfunction of what their surroundings were during their upbringing, And see, people don't know how to identify that because they're so blind to what is normalized. And the thing is you can't shake them. You can't say, dude, wake up. Don't you see this? Because they're not going to be able to see it. And that's another sad, sad thing. You could literally identify a repeat of your family continuing in a worse cycle, but you can't point it out to them, The only thing you can do is just hope that they come around. The only way that they're going to be able to identify it is if they look back on how things were when they were growing up and comparing the environment that they live in now. But the thing is, see, a lot of people sweep it under the rug, and they got too much ego, too much pride, They don't want to compare. They say, I'm better off. Well, that's because a lot of the times, majority of the time, you're 10 times worse. You're more worse than what your parents were, because as kids, we want to be better than our parents. We want to exceed. We want to basically keep the growth of the family strong. But the thing is, growth and what is normalized as growth is decline. It's decline. So say the father's an alcoholic and the mother's an alcoholic. What do you think the kids are going to be seeing, right? Those kids can either identify that this is incorrect and that I will never grow up to be like that, and then the kids are just going to have the kid that can identify that it is bad and that they're never going to grow up to be like that. They're going to be extremely outcasted in the family, whereas the one kid that thinks that's cool and stuff, well, they're going to be a more worse of an alcoholic than their father or their mother was, They're going to be worse with some of the actions that their mother or father or parental would have had, They're going to be 10 times worse. And see, that's something that we can't identify. We can't identify that the future of your kid, if they are constantly paying attention to the normalized dysfunction in the family and they look up to it, they are going to continue the cycle of never-ending dysfunction, but it's going to be even worse when they get to your age. And then their kids, it's going to be even worse when they get to their age. And then their kids are going to be even worse when it gets to their age, because the kids want to exceed the parental. But the thing is, a lot of households cannot accept that their kid wants to be better than what their parents are. They can't accept that. So what happens? The parent always, tries to, limit them, sculpt them a little bit, sculpt them to keep the parental at a high range, but keep the kid on a low range. And then there's also the parentals that keep the kid on a very high range, and then the kid just has complete control of the parents, and the parents are just trying to be their best to be the best parents that they can be, but they don't know what example that they're setting forth for that kid, because boy, the dysfunction in that household is going to be horrible for the future. That's why it's just, but the thing is, a lot of people can't identify this stuff. They can't point it out because they're blind. They're blind to it all. They're blind to it all because it's all just too normalized. And it's sad, it's sad because you're literally taking a look at someone that is suffering. And it's sad, Like those kids that go down to the bar drinking so much, blah, 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 causing all this chaos, blah, blah, blah. Go look at what their parents are like. Go look at what their parents are like. Go look at what their guardians are like. Go look at where they grew up was like, you know. That tells you it all right there. That's what's leading them to do all this stuff. You know, it all goes back to the household. It all goes back to the example that was led. Or it all goes down to what sheltering did to the kid, you know. Yes, sheltering can be good, but sheltering can also be bad. See, there's always a yin and a yang, good and a bad, you know. And a lot of times is a lot of people, they overly indulge in everything, you know, when it comes to shelter, you know, it comes to materialism, it comes to all that stuff, you know, they overly indulge it. And when you overly indulge into anything, it's going to create a complete dysfunction. It is. It really is. And the thing that's really sad is, though, when you do that to a kid, you know, you're dealing with a sponge, you know. And when you corrupt the mind of a sponge, when they reach, you know, their limit of growth, when that sponge is lock and key, boy, it's like prying teeth to get them to turn their life around. Because you know what they'll always say? Oh, my mom and dad, my uncle, my aunt did that. We're fine. We are fine. This is normal. Don't you know that? Man, my ancestors, my grandma used to do this. My grandpa used to do this. Blah, 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 blah. Like it's normalized. They can't even see no more because it's lock and key. That's what I mean. Like, kids are so fragile, man. They're so fragile. But the thing is, a lot of people, they can't identify it. They can't identify. And then you got those parents that constantly, you know, make the kids heavily responsible for their actions. But when really, the kid don't know anything. The kid don't know anything, you know. You got this kid getting his ass whooped because of what? Because of the example that was led, you know? Why did your kid do that? Why did your kid do this? You know? That's one thing that the parents don't ask themselves. What am I doing to get my kid to be responding like this for me to whip his ass, you know? They never ask that stuff, you know? Because they don't want to, because then it'll be a wake-up call on their end. And that's one thing that parentals and guardians and stuff don't want. They do not want a wake-up call. Because if they get a wake-up call, well, then they're going to be starting to question everything that they ever did. And that's when a crisis starts happening. You don't want a crisis happening, you know. But that's how it is. That's how society continues to remain dysfunctional. You know, because you don't have people wanting to better themselves. You just have people that are wanting to stay on the decline and continue going on the road to the decline with normalized addictions like Netflix, smoking, drinking. What else can be normalized? Eating, like horrible eating habits. That's one thing that I've picked on lately, and I do need to stop. Because, you know, I'm just trying to tough it out at my job. Like, I really, really am, man. I'm ready for the next chapter in my life. The thing is, it's just a lot of change that I'm having to do, but I'm forcing myself to do it. But I tell you, man, junk food has been the key ingredient to keeping me going. But the thing is like, I know how bad it is. And I'm like, oh, I'll start fasting again once I get over this hill. It's just, you know, I start to indulge in the healthier foods, like today I did, but at the end of it all, it's just like, you know, I'm ready for this hill to be over with. You know, it's already got, for example, the tattoo, man, like you know, oh man, it's just so much, you know. I got so much that I'm trying to change in my life, you know, and just advance for the better, you know. And see, that's just one thing that a lot of people don't want to do in society. They don't want to progress and, you know, continue to build themselves up to better things in life. Because when you're building yourself to better things in life, you're going to suffer doing it. Because through suffering is progress. If you're comfortable and you're content, you're not progressing at all. Because if you were to progress, you would be suffering. That's how progress works. But a lot of people don't want to go through the suffering. It's tough. It can be tough. And depending on your addictions and your bad habits of choice, it makes it even harder, See, luckily, that's why I keep my cell phone on a $30 plan. Because, man, if you're on a $30 plan, you ain't going to be watching pornography on no damn $30 plan. It's fucking impossible. So, of course now, even when it comes to my thoughts, it's just distasteful at the thoughts, But there are times where I want to venture in there, and as soon as I get to the page, I'm just looking and it's like, man, this is so distasteful, and I just get off of it, So luckily, it gets easier and easier and easier and easier, But, for example, if I were to go to a $60 plan or something, then I would have that temptation to go watch it, I would have that advantage because I would have the high-speed internet, you know what I mean? And see, that's what I mean. Addiction is at our fingertips, all for a price. You got a Netflix, you want the Disney Plus, you want the Hulu, you want all that. With this unlimited plan, you can watch all you want. You can watch all you want. And people love that. They eat it up like candy, but they don't know what they're doing to themselves, But man, the world is messed up as it is. You got to keep going, And that's what I do, Keep going, keep pushing through. Keep pushing through the sludge and just kicking butt, I wonder if you can hear my stomach growling when it... Yeah. And the thing is I'm not hungry. I don't even know why it's grumbling. It's probably telling me, James, you've been sitting in this car for almost an hour now. And that's because I was trying to get my grandma on the phone, but she's too cool for school. I just wanted to do another guest appearance with my grandma. Because, see, there he goes. I think it's just gas. But, probably is. Because I had a sandwich and some popcorn before I headed out. See, I'm already starting to get really, just feeling really good because I got all of it out. I got to talk. That's what I mean. That's the beauty of communicating for me. Is it just makes me feel good. I feel heard, That's why, if I ever can meet someone who can keep up with me communication-wise, man, I can only imagine how awesome I would feel on a day-to-day basis, you know what I mean? Just two people who just love to talk and love to learn, Also, one of my friends did educate me on, because there's one of my friends that I love to talk to. I found out that she's just she doesn't communicate, but she's a very good at listening, and she loves listening. She's more of a listener than a conversationalist. And I think that's one reason why I like to talk to her so much, because not only is she really good at arts and crafts, and specifically crocheting, because crocheting, man, that's patience, man. That is patience. It takes a lot of patience. That's something I lack. That's one of the reasons why, because it's two people who crochet. They hang out together and they crochet. And it's just inspiring to me with people that have such patience to do something like that, because I can't do it. It's kind of like drawing. That's why I cling a lot to my tattoo artists, because they have a trait that I wish that I could have. I think it would be so cool, if someone just says, hey, so I got this tattoo idea, but I don't know what it is, but I feel like this. They can literally just announce their feelings on stuff, and that's what they want tattooed. And the tattoo artist can literally just draw all that out. And I think that's so beyond talent right there. It's cool as heck, You want to surround yourself with people that have traits that you want. That's how you continue to progress. If you are hanging out with a group of people where you're never inspired, you're not progressing anywhere. You're not progressing anywhere. If there is no inspiration in your group, I hate to break it to you, but that's just comfort. That's just content. You're not progressing with anything. The whole point of making friendships and building relationships with people is to continue to inspire yourself to go to the next step. Because that's the thing. That's one thing I've noticed. The people that, I used to hang out with all the time who were big help with my progress, they're doing better things in their life now. They don't even work where I work anymore. Do we keep in touch? It's very rare that we might message each other and stuff. It's because we've did our time on the path when we were supposed to meet up. They're progressing just like I am, They basically, like I was just the person who didn't know how to swim, drowning. And, just people who have helped me out over the times when it was necessary with me learning a lot about real world, Because the real world, man, you need to be around the right people in the real world, because the real world will fuck you up. It will fuck you up. It really will. And if you that's one thing that's why I pick up, like when someone is so naive, and if I can identify it, I will latch on them, and I will make sure that they need to know what they need to know, because I was there one time. I used to be so naive. And I would not wish for a motherfucker to go through what the fuck I went through. I wouldn't want that. But then you also have to tell yourself, because that was one thing my caseworker told me, James, you can't help everybody. So basically, I just leave it up to them if they want to be around me or hang out with me. There's been one person, who I've been a big help with, luckily, and it makes me so happy every time she tells me all of this. Like when she tells me about how much of an impact, how much she really loves hearing my knowledge, and how much that she puts everything that I have taught her in her day to day. Like, it just makes me feel so good, because that's kind of what I want to do in my life. I just want to help people, because I know how the real world is fucked up. I know how it takes advantage of people and fucks them up even more, just making life tough, But you got to remember, there's this one theory, there's this one quote that I read. I don't know who said it, but it says that, remember, before you were even put on this earth, you chose the life that you have. You chose to take this route. Your life has already been programmed. The outcome and everything is already known. You knew about this life before you came into it. You picked the challenge. So you were strong enough to deal with it, to basically battle it out, because this was a path that you chose. And I love how inspiring that quote is, because man, just you don't know what the fuck you were before you were even born. But I love how they worded that. You chose this. You were strong enough. You chose this path in life. You knew how the life was from the beginning to the end. You chose it. You're strong enough because you chose it. So you just got to tough it out and fight through it. But anyway, I've done hit the marker. Y'all stay positive. I'm out. Peace.